The relationship between the little girls, Michelle and her sister, is just so special. And it's just, you know, even now, like, it gets me. And then they cast these two incredible young actors, and they are the sweetest, and they are gonna absolutely, as great as all of the rest of the actors are and all their accolades, it's those two little girls that are gonna carry this movie and that are the heart and soul of it. It is fun having kids on set. You know, I've done a lot of work with kids over the years, and when there are kids on set, there's just a certain energy that is so nice, especially on a heavy movie, you know, and we're doing the funeral scene today, hence my, you know, nice suit, Pastor Dave's nice suit. But to be able to break that sadness up with levity of these kids, gosh, it's a blessing. The golden rule is love thy neighbor as thyself, and I think this movie embodies that. You know, it's even if you don't know your neighbor, in this case, you know, Sharon didn't know this family, but was compelled to help them, and that is something I think we all can live by, and it's a great example for all of us. Because it's easy to live in our own comfort zone, in our own bubble, but to go outside of that and to help others in such a major way is so inspiring. I think he is such a talent, and he's such a great human being, first and foremost. He's got so much energy, so positive. He just, you know, he's the kind of person you want to work with. And I've been doing this long enough to know when you find something special, you hang on to it. By all accounts, he's somebody that, you know, as I said, coming from a long line of ministers myself, I know that to do that job, you have to give up a lot of your own time and your own energy to other people. You know, it's a service job, and you serve the congregation and the community, and from what I can tell, that, you know, Pastor Dave did that very well. Well, I think because this story, you know, is a lot about faith, is a lot about, you know, how we deal with each other, how we deal with tragedy and loss. Having, you know, someone that is, you know, a minister, that is a spiritual leader, is important, and I think, yeah, I think there is a sense, and when I've talked to John about it, you know, that there's a sense that Pastor Dave does kind of have a bigger part than maybe the screen time would suggest, that his, you know, helps serve as kind of the figurehead of the spiritual aspect of this film. And so I've taken it very seriously, and you know, it's a great honor to play that. My dad used to say, he talked about, you know, when you're born into faith, for example, born into a family of faith, whatever it might be, you're like dogs chasing a dog that's chasing a rabbit. You haven't seen the rabbit yet, but you can see the dogs are chasing something, and you're following them. And so eventually you catch up and you can see the rabbit yourself. And that's how it was for me with my faith journey, that, you know, I could say all the right things, and I could, you know, sing all the songs, and I knew the scriptures, and I knew all the right places to sit and all the things to do. But, you know, at a certain point, when I became you know, a young adult, I was able to see it for myself, see the rabbit for myself, and that's when it, you know, my borrowed faith then became my own. I mean, I think the themes that stand out to me in this movie are themes of faith, as I mentioned, but of community, of you know, loving thy neighbor as thyself, of helping thy neighbor, of the importance of family, the importance of not giving up. Those are things that we certainly can use in this day and age, especially after the last few years we've had. I think lessons for us that are evergreen. I do think it will inspire others. I think it's, you know, that's why, like I said when we sat down, that this is that thing where you're like, they should make that into a movie. You know, they really should. I'm glad they did, because it's inspiring. It's life affirming. It makes you want to kind of, you know, help that person out, whether you know them or not. It's a great example. I think in the age in which we live, and after, you know, the last several years, the post-pandemic world we're living in, seeing movies about community coming together, about helping each other, movies that are positive. I'm like, listen, I'm all for the the tentpole, big budget, action films, the comic book films. Those are great. But I also think it's nice to go see a movie that celebrates the ordinary angels in the world, right? The ordinary folks like you and me that, do great things.